This pattern right over here that I'm going to show you is going to double your profits. This is the only pattern that I use. It should be the only pattern that you should use. It's super simple and there's logic behind why it works, right? It's not just random stuff. There's actual logic to why it works. So from this one trade, I made $10,192, right? I entered over here and I exited over here. I'm going to explain how I found the stock, why I entered, what the pattern is, why I got out. We're going to explain all that in this video, so let's get started. The first thing you have to do is to forget everything. All the stuff you know right now about patterns and chart patterns and all these different things, you just forget about it, right? Because most of the stuff that people talk about is it's just too complex. It doesn't make any sense. And if we were to sit there and brainstorm the most ideal strategy, the best strategy, trading strategy that we could have, what are some of the things that it could include? Well, there's three things that I would say personally that the best trading strategy should have. The first one is it being simple. If it's not simple and you don't understand what you're doing, then you're not going to make any money, right? It's just as simple as that. If something's too complex for you to understand, you're not going to understand any of the nuances. When it presents itself in front of you, you're going to have no idea what to do. But if it's simple and you know what to do, when you see the pattern in front of you, you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to enter right over there. Stock goes up, you sell. But that only happens when it's simple. And one of the biggest advantages of the pattern that I'm about to show you is that it is very simple to understand. It makes sense. The second thing I would say that the best strategy should have is the highest risk to reward possible. Now, what does that mean? It pretty much just means that your average winners should be higher than your average losers, right? So my average winners for this month have been really good. They've been like $10,000 on like average, but my average losers have been very small. They've been like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So as long as my average winners are double, or just not even double, if they're just more than my average losers, I know I'm doing the right thing and I feel positive. And that's what the best strategy should have. Your winners should always be bigger than your losers. And I've seen this happen all the time, where I've seen people slowly grow their trading accounts, right? Slowly over time, they're growing. All they need is just one big loss, and it sets them back weeks, maybe months. So they have one big loss, and the trading account is all the way back down to here. And they have to keep rebuilding it again and again and again. So effectively, all the time from here, all the way till here, you've just wasted, right? Because of one big loss. So this is why your risk to reward has to be solid. Now, like I said, my wins are way bigger than my losses. Therefore, my account keeps growing, and it's like this trajectory, right? So that's another thing that the best trading strategy should have. And the third thing I would say is it needs to be repeatable. If your trading strategy only works once a quarter, once a year, once a week, then it's not really going to work, right? If it happens every single day, if your strategy works every single day, and even better than that, multiple times a day, well then it's clearly better. Because not only do you get more time to practice the strategy in real time, but you also get more winners. And when you get more winners, your account keeps growing. It's perfect. So those, I would say, are the three things that the most ideal strategy should have. So now let's begin. Let me tell you what my strategy is, what the pattern I trade is. Let's get to it. Before that, guys, quick heads up. I have my free trading bundle. It has a free course inside. You can learn this exact strategy with another example, with more details. There's 3 ebooks inside. There's a trade tracker inside. So you guys can like track all your trades. You can input the price you entered, you exited. You can put a little picture, write some notes. It's really good. And there's also a gift inside. So if you want to get access to all those things, click the first link in description to go check out the free trading bundle. So what's the pattern that I use? The pattern that I use is called the bull flag. So the bull flag is really 3 main parts. We have the surge, we have the profit taking, and then we have the next move up. So let's look at the first 2 candles, because all these steps happen in these 2 candles. So the first 2 candles we can see, this one and this one, we have the initial surge. The price goes up, right? We have a nice surge and it goes up. This is perfect. The next thing you want to see is profit taking. So then you can see the next 2 candles over here, the next 2 red candles, the stock starts to go down. It doesn't dump. The stock isn't dramatically going down, giving away most of the surge. It's going down a little bit, right? In an ideal world, we would want to see lower volume on the selling, right? And the third part of the bull flag is the next move up, which are these next 2 candles. The price breaks and it squeezes its high over here, right? That is what the bull flag looks like. This is the pattern that I use every single day. If I had to bet my trading career on one pattern, it would be this one. It wouldn't be any other pattern, because this is how good it is. And logically, it makes sense. Remember in the beginning I said that there's logic to it? Logically, it makes sense, right? So let me tell you why. What's happening over here is we're getting a surge higher, and then we're getting a little bit of profit taking. So people, obviously, they bought over here, they bought over here, they bought over here, they bought over here, they bought over here. The stock is very high now, and they're ready to take their profits, right? So people are closing their trades, they're selling their shares. The price goes down a little bit. Then we all get ready for the next move up, right? We get ready for the next move up. And as soon as I can tell that the next move up is about to start, I'm going to enter right over here, right? Stock surges up, and then somewhere over there, when I see some resistance, I sell. Logically, it makes sense because what's happening is people are buying, stock goes up, it goes down a little bit, so people start selling, taking their profits, and then as soon as it starts going back up again, everybody starts buying, and we see a nice surge up. So now you might say, okay, this is great, so where do I enter? Me personally, where I like to enter is when the candle breaks the high of the previous candle. So I'm not entering on the surge, I'm not entering on this candle, I'm not entering on the pullback. I'm going to be entering as soon as after the pullback, we get a candle that breaks the previous one's high. So the high of this red candle is right over here. If I have to draw the level, the high will be right over here. As soon as this green candle surges up, keeps going up, and it breaks this level over here, I'm going to be entering as soon as I can see it break. Once it breaks, it starts squeezing upwards. Maybe it has a little bit of pullback, but it keeps squeezing upwards. As soon as I see some resistance, I'm going to be selling somewhere there. That is the whole idea. So now let's talk about how we can incorporate the bull flag, my favorite pattern, into the best strategy. Remember what I said about the best strategy? It needs to have a high win rate. We need to make sure that it's repeatable, and it needs to be simple, right? And this is exactly what this strategy is. The first step of the strategy is we need to find volatile stocks. We'll go into this exactly how you can find them. We'll go into that. The next step of the strategy is we need to choose one of them. So once we have a list of really volatile stocks, we need to filter through them. We need to figure out the ones that we think are going to have the highest potential. And I'll teach you guys how to do that as well. The third thing we have to do is obviously buy. We need to wait for the bull flag pattern, pull back. As soon as we can see the next leg up, we want to buy there, goes up, we want to sell there. So that's the third step. And the last thing, obviously, is to sell. So now let's go through each of the steps in detail. The first step is to find volatile stocks. The way you do this is you head to a stock screener. It can be anywhere. It can be TradingView, it can be FinViz, it can be YouTube, wherever. Find a stock screener and find the stocks and sort them by gap percentage like I have over here. So I sort the list by gap percentage. And what I've found through years of doing this is that if a stock is gapping up more than 20%, then it has potential to make a big move. If the stock's gapping up a lot less, let's say it's gapping up 3%, 6%, it's probably not going to make a big move. So if you guys want to see my exact screener setup, it's inside of the community, the Draco Room. So step number 2 is the watch list. So what we want to do is we want to click on each one of these stocks, the ones that are gapping up. We want to see the charts and we want to see which ones have the most potential. So the stock on the left, you can see that initially it opened right over here. It went down for a little bit, right? Then it kind of went up, and then it kind of had a big rejection. We had this big topping tail, started going down again, and then it started curling back up, and then it went down. This is not what we want to see, right? Volume is very inconsistent. It's going up and down for no reason. We're not seeing any smooth price action. This is not what we want to see. Whereas if we see the one on the right, we can see that volume is increasing. Look how well the volume increases. This is perfect. Whenever we have some buying, we see high volume green candles. Whenever we have some selling, we see low volume red candles. This is perfect, right? So we can see in general, the stock is making higher highs and higher lows. So this would be like an ideal setup for us. This will be the stock to watch. Now, step number 3 is obviously to enter. So like I said, the bull flag, we need to wait for a pullback. Once we have a pullback, we need to wait for the first candle to make a new high. So we see the stock, it opens on this candle over here. It surges higher. We have this pullback, it goes down, down, down. And now I'm waiting for the candle that's just about to open, let's say over here. And I want it to open and go up and up and up and up and up. And then once it breaks the previous candle's high, like at about this level, I'm going to click the buy button and enter somewhere over there. And then I'm looking for a squeeze up and up and up and up and up. And then I want to sell. That's the whole idea. So I enter on the stock right there, right? This is exactly where I enter, right over here. Stock surges up, right? Then it kind of pulls back a little bit. Then it surges up one last time, breaks the previous high, and I end up selling right over there. This is the trade that made me $10,000. It's a quick 10% trade. It took literally 1, 2, 3 minutes, super quick. This is the strategy that I do every single day, and it's a strategy that the community follows. Now, if you're thinking like, Draco, this is a little complex, or maybe I need some more support, then I invite you guys to join my community, the Draco Room. In this community, I literally teach you guys the strategy that's made me over $1 million. You can see people are making wins every single day. He made $400 trading this exact strategy. She made $600. This guy made $200. This guy, it was his first day, he made $43. People are making wins every single day. When you join the community, you also get access to all of my live trades. So every time I make a trade, I always record it, and then afterwards I make a video explaining exactly when I entered, when I exited. So you can see the most recent day I made $61,000. This day I made $16,000. This day I didn't trade. This day I made $1,000. So every single time I make a trade, I record it so you guys can see exactly when I enter, exactly when I exit. And you can see all of these videos when you join the community. You also get access to a course. There's an FAQ section. There's a watch list, live movers. You guys can ask questions in the chat. It's very resourceful, so it's definitely a good thing to check out. So if you guys do want to join the community, you can email me at this email right over here. Just email me, say you want to join, and I'll try to get you a spot inside. The price is going to be increasing every 10 members. So if you guys want to lock in your cheap price right now, then definitely email me on the email on screen. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video.